bump heard round the world gave Johnny Gardner his first attempt at a playoff appearance. Can he ride that momentum to another victory today? Jet Krause is wrecked out of a record-setting 5 straight events. Is this finally the time that he's going to show his true speed? And we're heading to Van Zandt in the heart of Texas. It's going to be very hot and very slick. How will the drivers be able to navigate this super speedway course? High banks, hot temperatures, high speeds, and another race closer to the NFRN Elite Cup Series playoffs. That's the stage that's set here today as our race hits double digits on the counter for the season. This is race number 10, down here at Van Zandt Superspeedway for the second race of this race weekend. Here in Canton, Texas, this is the Van Zandt 400. Hello again, everybody. Colin Denton here on the call today for RVN. Excited to have you for another Elite Cup Series race here today at Van Zandt. We've had 9 different winners so far this season, 7 of them being eligible for the playoffs, 2 coming up from the Amateur Cup Series. We are going to see who's going to be the next winner to possibly lock themselves into the playoffs. Who knows, we could see another surprise winner coming up from the lower series. We saw Clint McComb take the victory, steal it away from Colin Lindsay in the last race here. Now we're going to see if another driver from the Amateur Cup Series is able to win here in a very high speed but restrictor plate racetrack. That's going to add a different factor that can really knock guys out quickly but add some new guys into the mix. Who's going to take it away today? Let's get right into the action and find out. We are finally back on this side of the Pacific, and hopefully we'll be here for a little while throughout this season. We're headed down to Texas, Canton, Texas to be exact, where you'll find Van Zandt Superspeedway, a population of just over 3,000 people, 56 miles outside of the Dallas metropolitan area. First settled in 1850, it's the host of the Van Zandt County Fair and Rodeo, plus home to one of the biggest flea markets in the country. Increases the population of the city to 300,000 every first Monday of the month. Let's take you around for a lap around Van Zandt Superspeedway, and not a ton to show you because this is a restrictor plate racetrack. You're going to see that tachometer blinking a lot of the time because you're going to be full throttle, full speed, little left to give in that engine. You can see our test car riding around the bottom line. It's going to be the preferred line on these high banks and the high speeds, but there can be strategy involved in this as well. Even though it is draft-based racing, you can make a move from the top line to the bottom line, get a good momentum boost off of the turn, maybe make a move on another driver. That's all going to come down to skill. Which driver is going to be able to make those moves happen in the right place in the right time, but make them at the right place to get to the finish line first. After 50 laps, we'll see who's going to be the winner in this one. Plus, we had the part-timers from the Amateur Cup Series come up here and test out the track first. They obviously got laps earlier on, able to experience what it is, but a little bit of problems in this duel compared to the last one. Noah Kim trying to go down on Donnie Moore in a 3-wide situation. That collects another 3 cars, sends a couple out of the race. And then coming off of turn number 4, a 3-wide situation right here, going to cause a squeeze. Jake Thomas goes for a very long slide, and he's going to be able to save it, but not before the caution comes out. Greg Martin would be the one that's out front at the time of the caution. 19-car fans just barely going to survive getting in, but Eric Van Arsdale going to be the first driver out. Also a part of this field, Chris Harley, Kenny Knox, Dwayne Calloway, and John Gilbert. 4 of those guys that have won races so far. And you can see in this latter part the 4 drivers, all of whom were involved in an accident. AJ Jones and Connor Mays not able to complete the race after that accident. And we go to our hot seat winner of the week, Johnny Gardner. Fresh off a victory, he's got 2 top 2 finishes in a row. He finished runner-up at 8 Bowl, and he's looking to see if he can continue that momentum here on these restrictor plates. He can do very well, as we saw at 8 Bowl, another similarly speedy track, but he'll have to find his way to the front a little bit further back in traffic right now. It is time to crank the engines in the Lone Star State. Let's head down trackside.
And now for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome your Grand Marshal, President and CEO of Advance Auto Parts, Tom Greco.
Drivers, start your engines!
All right, buddy, fired up when you're ready.
There's the beautiful sounds of the engines. Now we're ready to take you through the starting grid, and how about this? John Gilbert, his first start in the Elite Cup Series. After several DNQs in a row, he puts it on the pole in his number 47 Kingsford Chevrolet. He lines up alongside Jet Crowson in number 34 MDK Racing Chevrolet. 5 straight DNFs, a league high for Kraus, trying to turn it around today. In row number 2, we have Rambo, one of the Texas natives in the field today. Alongside him, Reese Butcher, the Green Valley Super Speedring winner. In row number 3, a couple of drivers that had poor finishes at Calder Park looking for a rebound. Bruno De Barros and Dominic Carranza. In row number 4, we have Stephen Willey looking to finally break the slump that he's been in all season. Dwayne Calloway, the Twin Ring Motegi winner, is in place number 8. Just one spot behind is the 8-ball winner, Philip Fry, alongside Ryan Maiden, who only has one top 10 this year. He rounds out the top 10. In row 6, we see Craig Martin, who got a top 5 in his last Elite Cup Series start that came at 8-pole. John Arndt, the Texas driver, looking for his first win. Can he get it in his home state? In row number 7, Tyler Markell posted a best finish of 16th so far this season, looking to improve. Nick Smith got his first top 10 of the season last race. In row 8, we have Gerard Ron, the runner-up at Green Valley Super Speedring. NASCAR Fan 19, 2 runner-ups this season. He's on the outside. In row number 9, we have Aiden Shepard, who has 2 41st place finishes in the last 3 races. Eli Bright on the outside looking to break his very average rookie season. And in row number 10, we have Adam Mundinger, who's been going a little bit downhill in his performance lately. Brad Stover, though, on the outside, a league high 6 top 10s. Field moves through the apron in turns 1 and 2. We saw only one accident in the Amateur Cup Series race that just preceded this one. Going to see if the aggression of these guys up here in the Elite Cup Series will maybe lead to some more accidents on this very fast racetrack. We'll see how the finish turns out, as well as lap traffic playing a factor in how the finish of the last race turned out. Only 2 cars had a chance at it, and it turned out pretty anticlimactic, just because no one was able to give the push to Colin Lindsay that he was looking for him to make the move on Clint McComb. John Gilbert leading the way. He's going to be our next pole award winner. He's going to have an opportunity to compete in the Clash for next season, as well as all these other drivers. Noah Cars gets the lock for having a win in the Clash earlier this year, but he was able to earn a pole award just a couple weeks ago as well. We see the pace car pulling off. For John Gilbert, he's looking to contend in his first start. Jet Kraus looking for a turnaround. The green flag flying here at Van Zandt. John Gilbert got a good start at the front of the pack, but Rambo, the Texas native, is going to be the one that leads the first lap, as he's now going to be able to control which lane he wants to choose. The inside line is going to be the preferred line throughout this entire race, but obviously still a draft-dependent race circuit. Going to have to block each lane as they go down these front and back straightaways. He's got back-to-back top 10 so far, 7th and 3rd, but now he's got to move to the inside from the 12 car, Bruno De Barros. Looking to take the lead away on lap number 2. We'll have this entire pack right behind him. Philip Fry trying to look for a side draft here as he moves to the inside line. Going to see if he can lead the next lap. Get some help from Tyler Markell. The 78 is going to find his way to the front. Double file, multiple rows back, all the way to the last position. 78 and 48 taking the draft right now. An aggressive move by Tyler Markell to keep the block on the 91 car. Could have been disastrous if just a few inches away from the 91 that the 48 went off of. Could have resulted in a spin. He makes the move anyway, though. Ron's going to cycle in third place. And he'll be able to maintain this line with the rest of the leaders. Oh, now the 91's looking into the inside. But he'll actually get a crossover move from Aiden Shepard, another Texas driver. He's going to cycle in third place. Got a lot of those in-state drivers having some solid days to start off. That 4 car is starting to fade back just a little bit. You can see Shepard looking to the inside of the 48 right now. We will assume the 78 will cut down right here, and he will, as the 7 gets to the inside of Tyler Markell. 78 with a bit of a breakaway, but the 7 hot on his heels, and the 98 trying to see if he can make a move to the inside. And he'll be able to do that. Shepard cycle to the outside line. Philip Fry doing a good job right now at playing defensive. Leading a few laps, trying to see if he can get the bonus points for leading the most laps this race. Hopefully go for his second win of the season. The other JR will be looking for his first. Already got one teammate locked into the playoffs. He'd like to be the second. As you can see, this pack is not broken away from anybody. They are all still packed together. As now Jack Porkins making a move to the inside. Gonna see if he can draft up with his teammate. And that's actually all 3 RPG7 Motorsport drivers in a line before the 98 makes the move up high. Teamwork working well once again, just like we saw it in the Amateur Cup Series race, although Jack Porkins is going to make the move to the inside of his teammate. A best finish of 9th so far on the season, his only top 10 of the season. Driving with a new sponsor, Nikon, on board. You got a couple of similarly painted race cars. 1 and 2 with each other, but Stuart Gradden making the move to the inside now. Gonna see if he can lead the lap instead of Porkins and get a bonus point. All smoke in the back. And we've got a spinner. That's the 76 of Dale Jr. Fan 8883. Reese Butcher also involved. Jake Basking are a little bit of contact. Brad Stover's also right there. Caution flag has flown. So we get a little further into the race than the Amateur Cup Series did. But ultimately, we will see an accident as the 76 goes around as well as the 90. Making tight quarters as they try to find their way back in the line. They spun out across the line, which means they'll cycle into whatever place they got to. So Stuart Gradden currently holding the lead. All of the RPG7 Motorsport drivers in the top 5 right now. But everyone's going to come down for pit stops. We'll see what kind of strategies play out here. With a few laps done in this race, we could see some drivers try to take tires. And as we see the first ones come into their stalls, looks like 2 tires is going to be the call for a lot of the teams. And tires aren't essential to succeeding at this racetrack, but you eventually do need them. Just a matter of how do you ration them out across this entire 50-lap race. And since they are under caution, giving drivers a good reason to take them now. And 77 on the outside line actually going to get a little bit of an advantage as John Gilbert pulls into his stall, blocks Gradden a little bit, who's on the inside. The 77 is going to win the race off of pit lane. As we see, it's going to be mostly all 2 tires across the board, with a lot of shuffling in position on this very tight pit lane. See the last few cars starting to pull away after they get their service. Let's take a look back on how this accident started. And you see a 3-wide situation right here involving those two cars that we saw spinning. Carranza in the middle in the 24. You've also got the 84 and the 55 just behind that on the inside line. So right there, just an accordion effect. 76 goes around, 90 hits the wall, and he's going to rebound back into the 76, which will cause him to get around ultimately. And then you see the 84, the 55, the 0, they're all just kind of going straight into the smoke. We saw the 84 make contact. I believe the 0 is going to get back to the outside. Let's right on board Brad Stover. In a good points battle right now. What does he see in this one? And he is going to miss it. Great braking by the driver of the 55, looking to claim a playoff spot on points.
He's not even human. He's like a robot.
Why? Because he always wins?
Need another Kenseth.
Copy that. Did I win?
Yep.
He's a robot.
A winning robot.
Walkie-talkies get it done. Nextel.
About 1 year and 3 months ago, a series of tornadoes ravaged the Texas area, including Van Zandt County. 4 people died in this area as several storms pulled through over the course of many days. In today's Van Zandt 400, we race in memory of those who were affected by the storm. This latest round of pit stops, not free of controversy. The 42 and the 76 looking for the same real estate. Damage to the front of the 76, going to take him out of this race. Tyler Markell and John Arndt make contact. Then the 48 runs straight into the back of Craig Martin, who's just starting his stop. A 3-car incident there as the drivers super aggressive early on in this race, as they are looking for a victory as the playoffs starting to near closer and closer. Dale Jr. fan 88-83, the only driver dropping out after this latest caution. Sure, the contact on pit lane did not help him in any way. Jonathan Rain's going to beat Stuart Gradden off pit lane, and he's going to be the control car coming back to this restart, which we'll see right now. ...11 laps down in this 50-lap race, and Tyler Markell is definitely losing performance based on that contact he took on pit lane. He got off of pit lane in a solid position, but he's clearly not up to power based on the damage he took. Not only did he run into the 05 car, but also smashed into the 38. And as a result, he's going a lot slower than the rest of this field. Looked like the 05 was about to make a move on him. I guess John Arndt not feeling the impact of that, as Chris Harley just barely gets the nose underneath Stuart Gradden, who just took the lead. Harley looking to make a move. Trying to see if he can win one up here. He's already got 2 Amateur Cup Series victories under his belt, looking for his first Elite Cup Series win. He hasn't been performing too well up in this series, but now he's finding his way to the front of the pack. Now can he stay there? There's been a little bit of a breakaway, as there's only about a dozen or so cars in this lead draft, a few just lagging back, and even more a little bit further back, as I'm sure the 48 had a little bit of a role in that. And we see another accident up here in the front stretch. John Arndt I saw pulling away, but Julio Caesar, the one that's lagging back here and the one that spun around. And quickly off the restart, another incident. Turn 4 being very treacherous for the drivers so far this weekend. You see the drivers coming to take the caution. Chris Harley, the one out in front. As you can see, a few of the cars have already lost the lead draft, and I wonder if that's going to be the case for the rest of this race. When you lose the speed on some of these restrictor plate racetracks or the very fast racetracks, it's very hard to find your way to victory lane or even get into a lead draft. So if cars are struggling right now, they're going to really need to fix them up quickly, because they are not going to be able to perform up to the standards that you need to win at a place like Van Zandt. The other JR finds his way up in the second place. David Davidson into third. As it looks like cars are going to start to stay pit stops. They're trying to cycle out where they're lining up. And it looks like they're struggling on that a little bit. So we got the 3 lead cars making their way on right now. And we'll see what the strategy is now. Now that they've taken 2 tires all the way around. And from the drivers that we're watching, Chris Harley, David Davidson going for no tires on this stop. Playing a little bit of strategy. William Brock coming in late. And he'll also go for no tires. So team's just going for fuel as we've got some contact on pit lane. And I believe that's the 29 of Stuart Gradden. Did not see who he made contact with, but it looks like the damage was pretty serious. And he actually has his hood off. He must have made some contact out on the racetrack as they were trying to enter on the pit lane. We saw a lot of cars having trouble trying to get into their spots. Wonder if he made contact with someone with his front end as he was trying to make his entry. Some more drivers moving around on this set of pit stops. Let's take a look what happened on the racetrack. Looks like Reese Butcher comes up and actually makes contact with the 05. Julio Caesar on his outside. Another 3-wide situation, but the 90 car kind of came up there and forced the 05 into Julio Caesar. NASCAR Fan 19 going to make a little contact with the 05, but get away. The 05 is going to save it right here, and then the 0 is already on for a ride at this point. Our second caution of the day here at Van Zandt.
Well, I know one thing about marketing. The more logos you put in one place, the better.
True, but having something unique is better.
Check it out.
The Shell nitrogen-enriched cleaning system acts as a barrier to help protect critical engine parts against performance-robbing gunk.
Mm-hmm.
All 3 grades of Shell gasoline are nitrogen enriched, too.
All 3 grades.
What?
He's good.
So before the break, we mentioned that the 29 looked like he took his hood off the race car. Here's what happened before coming to pit lane. A little bit of contact with the 23 at first, but that's not the big hit until this happens. Looks like the 42 got a little slow. Running the kind of middle section between the track and the apron. Slows down to 23, and the 29 of Stuart Gradden is not anticipated. He's starting 4th in this restart, but expect him to drop like a rock. We're going to see how the rest of the field navigates around him, because he is definitely not going to be up to speed when they take this restart right here. Chris Harley leading the way, and you can already see the 12 car makes the move to the inside. Teammate does not go with him. Ashley stuck on the outside line and behind Stuart Gradden. And that's a big mistake on the 57's part. Had to go with your teammate right there and get away from the slow car. And now she is trapped on the outside. one of our other Texas drivers, as we see on this chart. A solid day by all of those drivers right now, although now the 4 car of Rambo also trapped on the outside line. 3 of those 4 in the top 12 at the restart. Going to see a few of them drop a few positions back because of the slow car of Stuart Gratton. You can see John Arndt a part of this pack back here. And this is a pack that's kind of fallen off from the lead draft. And I think that the 44 might be going a little slow as well. Not sure what kind of contact he has. Oh yeah, look at that. The 93 just blows by the 44. And now Noah Cars moves to the outside line and gives the inside lane up. That's obviously going to slow down another set of cars up in the top lane. In fact, he's kind of blocking 2 lanes as there's 3 wide situations back there. On a car in the wall, and Reese Butcher goes around. Dominic Carranza and Cody Hagan. And we see another caution here on lap number 21. Right side damage on the 42, who I believe was on the outside line and made contact with the wall. There's the 24 of Carranza. De Barros finds his way to the front, and he'll take this caution as the leader. AMI Incorporated already has 1 win on the season, with Amethyst Ashley winning at Pigs Cliff. Now the teammate looking to see if he can score his own victory and find his way into the playoffs and make it 2 for 2 for the team. This is the 7th to last race to try to earn a victory. Otherwise, we'll see how many drivers have to go in on points. At the moment, that number is 2. Both of them coming from drivers in the Amateur Cup Series winning races. Kenny Knox and Dwayne Calloway, both of whom are in today's race. 12 catches up to pace car. We're in turns 3 and 4, and it looks like we're going to see some more pit stops. We'll see how the strategy plays out on this one, because it looks like the majority of people took no tires. A few did take 2 tires. But it is going to be a full field affair. We're following DeBarros, the other JR, and Philip Fry. As this entire field will come down for service. The other JR, the 98, taking 2 left side tires. I imagine he took 2 right sides earlier in the race. The 12 is going to follow the same pattern. Philip Fry coming in getting no tires. Gas and go for Philip Fry. But he's not going to be able to win the race off pit lane. DeBarros continues to lead this one. As the rest of the field comes through, Davidson going to lose 6 spots on the 2-tire strategy. Stephen Willie loses 3. See some guys like Rampage, Philip Fry, Aiden Shepard gaining a few positions on their no-tire strategies. Let's see how this accident unfolds, and that is Julio Caesar on the outside, much like the last accident, except this time it's Caesar on the inside forcing in the Butcher. And those two kind of had an incident on that last accident in which Reese Butcher came up into John Arndt, and Caesar was a victim of that accident. This time, Caesar gets into Butcher, runs into Cody Hagan, collects Carranza. So you gotta wonder if that's a little bit of retaliation. But that is gonna bring out the 3rd caution of the day. Bruno De Barros leading the way, only 1 car currently out of the race.
I rely on my pit crew for a lot of things, both on and off the track. But when it comes to my cars, I take care of them myself because I know I'm going to do it right. Armor All. Care for your car. And to protect against brake dust and grime, try new Armor All Wheel Protectant.
The 12 car currently leading the way with the other JR, Jet Kraus, Jonathan Rains, and Rampage. Rounding out the top 5, we've already seen 3 accidents today compared to the Amateur Cup Series race where only 1 happened. Green flag flies on lap number 26, just past halfway in this race. Take a look at this. Rampage up here in 5th place. He started the day in last, 42nd position in qualifying because he just had a very loose race car, ran up the hill, but he succeeds on these types of racetracks. 7.2 average finish on the mid speedways, between 2 and 2.49 miles on racetrack length. He has 2 victories at super speedways, but this is his best racetrack type. That's his best average finish across all the different mediums, and he excels against all other veterans. The only drivers that lead him in this category are those that finished 7 for better at Riki among the rookie drivers. And now he's gone from 5th to 2nd in a matter of a lap. Looks like now he's going to be caught on the outside line with Aiden Shepard, trying to see if he can get a victory on his home state track. He's got Davidson on the push. Now it looks like the 11 is going to try to make a move to the inside and get 2nd place for himself as DeBarros continues to play defensive. You can see just how quick that inside line is moving. Stephen Wood makes the move up high to block Aiden Shepard. Now we'll see if he can make the move down track and make the block on Gerard Aron. He will be able to. How about Willie having a great day here today? For all of the bad luck that he's had this season, 3rd place, running really well. This is exactly the type of run that he needs to have. His victory, his lone victory in race number 1 of season 1, came at a racetrack just around this type of lane. This track type gained him a victory at Bump Draft and Super Speedway, the track that we're going to next week. And now he's making a push to the inside of Bruno DeBarros on David Davidson. They both cycle to 1 and 2. DeBarros on the outside line. Willie looking to rebound, possibly gain a victory this time around. Take a look at how spread out this field has come, though. And that lead draft is dwindling as several cars starting to fade back, not able to hold the speed that the rest of the top runners are right now. Damage plays a huge factor into that. We have our onboard on Johnny Gardner. As you can see, he's not in any type of draft right now. This RPM meter's flashing red shows that they're working these engines to their peak performance, but obviously that's not going to be enough when you don't have the draft to back it up. So maxing out the potential of this race car and not having much to show for it at the moment. Davidson continuing to play defensive. Adam Mundinger's shuffled his way in the 2nd place. Rambo's found his way back into his top 5. He'll go up the racetrack though, and Jet Kraus getting the help from Rampage. A good run for the 11 car, who hasn't had any Rookie of the Year points so far this season. You see Eli Bright up here in this front draft as well. Only 1 top 10 on the season. And at the other mid-speedway of the season, Riki Raceway, he finished 13th. One of his better performances of the season. And now he's got a good chance to back that up with a great run here as he runs in this lead draft that's kind of gone into about 15 to 20 cars. Still having a chance at a victory in this one. 97 looks like he got a little bit up in the wall at that straightaway. Jed Kraus making the move to the inside. A driver that's DNF'd in 5 straight events. That's a league record. He is looking to contend for a victory in this one. It's been noted before, his finishes are either DNFs or top 10s. There is no in-between at this point. But now he's in the outside line. He's got Rampage and Mitchell Mark making the move. Could have some additional cars coming to that inside. Rampage on the outside line. Mitchell Mark trying to get a run on the 11. He continues to hold this lead. Mark got a 5th place run at Calder Park. This is his first top 5 of the season. He could be on pace to back that up with another one. Really, you've got to set yourself up for making a move. And I think the 5 might have that. He is going to go to the inside and looking for the lead on lap number 35. And he's going to get the position. Eli Bright does not go down the racetrack, keeps the door open for Aiden Shepard. And you see the 29 car is going slow enough. This could be lap traffic potential. Still just over 15 laps to go in this race. They're definitely going to catch him. I think they're going to need one more stop to get to the end on fuel. And just like in the Amateur Cup Series race, that could play a factor into how they're able to finish up. They're catching up to the 29. A move made by Aiden Shepard gets way in front of Mitchell Mark, and he makes a great move away from this lead draft as the 29 continues to hold up the field. This reminds me so much of the Amateur Cup Series race at 8 Bowl. Sparky gets away because Ray Chapman blocks the rest of the field. And there's a huge crash back here heading into turn 3. And that is both of the Checkmate Motorsport cars. And the other JR plows into the 77. And I think even more contact made right there. Teammates taken out once again. This isn't the first time that they've both been taken out in an accident. And they've done it once again. The 98 all crunched in. His car is destroyed after having a great day so far. John Arndt, I think the other car that's made contact in this accident. That's your points leader at the moment. Jack Porkins also seen spinning around. And we've got a late race caution. Flies on lap number 36. And for Stephen Willie and Jonathan Rains, both drivers that had been seen inside the top 5 contending to lead laps, both crashed out in this latest accident. So Aiden Shepard currently leading the way in his home state track. Oh, but we've got a split strategy on pit lane. Not everyone's coming down. John Gilbert's going to be the one that leads them down. Rambo, the Texas driver as well. Rampage, NASCAR Fan 19. Only about half this field is coming down for service. Rampage comes in. He's going to take no tires. Fuel only to end out this stretch. 64 pulls into his stall. He's also going for no tires as well. And that'll be the case for John Gilbert. So no tires, the strategy all around. Gilbert pulls off first. Rambo comes in next. NASCAR Fan 19, Davidson, Kraus, all going to get a jump on the Rampage. We'll see the rest of the field coming down here, and it looks like that 29 car seems like it came in a little premature. 77. He's on this middle line. He doesn't have much of a line right here. He's just kind of running in the middle. He makes contact with his teammate. And he's going to be the one that turns him into the wall. Jack Porkins gets collected, but huge contact right here. Kind of in the slant where the safety trucks are able to pull in and out of the racetrack. But that is a teammate taking out a teammate. I don't know what Reigns was doing right there. Kind of stuck in the middle of both of the lanes. It was almost like he was trying to side draft his teammate and misjudged it terribly. We're going to see the 98 coming here really quickly. 77 right on the middle, and bang! Huge hit for the 98. With somehow fallen all the way back there in the field. And then John Art's going to come in here, and he's going to make contact with Stephen Willie. And then he's going to run into Julio Caesar, who both of them have made contact with each other so far this race. Seems like 2 or 3 of these guys have been finding each other all over the racetrack so far. Onboard Jonathan Reigns. He gets the run on Jack Porkins, but then loses it really quickly. Looks like the inside line's working, but he's just running in the middle of those 2 lanes. Not sure what he's trying to accomplish there. And there's the big hit with the 98. Let's watch it from the other JR's view. So you can see just how far back he is, and there's the initial smoke. He's not letting up. Big hit. Not sure why he didn't try to slow up earlier on. That could be said for pretty much all the drivers in the back of the field. And then we've got some contact here just in front of pit lane. Oh, and that's going to be the 48 that comes in there really hot as the 90 managed to find his way around off the bumper of the 05. Plenty of problems. Just 10 laps shy of the end of this race.
You're unbelievable.
So, Dale, I just want to tell you how excited we are to have you be a part of UPS Racing.
Excited to be here.
So, let's go take a look at your new ride.
It's a truck.
Yeah, the big brown truck.
What about that?
Oh, that? It's just a PR tool. You'll be driving the big brown truck. Now, you cross the finish line in the big brown truck, and there won't be a dry eye in the house.
It looks like we were going to be seeing a lot of strategy play out at the end of this one. It turns out it is, because just a lap later after the initial pit stops we watched, more drivers came down, and then another lap later, 2 part-timers coming down. Everyone wasn't able to make it on fuel, but they decided to split up the place where they took the fuel, wondering if they're trying to see which lap is going to be the one that gets them to the end. Will we see fuel problems at the end of this race? We're going to find out on this final restart. Lap 41, 10 laps to go. Dominic Carranza ahead of this lead group. But he is not going to be the leader. It's going to be John Gilbert who's going to try to get around the 24 car and lead the rest of this field. He's going to make the move to the inside. The 4 is going to follow. Who else is going to follow? Actually, it's going to be Davidson that gets to the inside of the 64. And you can see the group that is contending for this win is starting to form. It's only about a dozen cars. Several others started to lag back, and that starts off with the number 19 of 19 car fan, Jake Baskinger, Brad Stover, Aiden Shepard, also part of that group. More cars trying to deal with the lap traffic. Stuart Gratton got lapped just before that caution came out. In fact, he might have had an influence on how that last accident played out. The Texas drivers have really struggled since we last took a look at them. Rambo being the only driver in the top 5. Everyone else 16th or worse. This Ashley, part of that group that's a little bit farther back. drafting, trying to see if she can get higher up. And she's actually making up a lot of positions right now. And we see Rambo has found his way to the front. Jet Kraus on the inside, trying to see if he can peek his way in there. Core still got the edge. John Gilbert on the outside line. Noah Ponter, William Brock trying to draft a way back up to the lead group. They're just a little bit lagging behind. But they're still certainly within striking distance. Carranza's the slow car. They are trying to get around. Carranza's not necessarily going that slow. He's just a lap down, not really playing a factor in this race. Rambo holding the defensive line over Davidson. Rampage making his way into third place. Jack Porkins on the lower line. Davidson looking to the inside for the lead. And he's got the position. And now the one car finds its way into the lower line in the middle of the turn. That's a great way to get some momentum, and he's building it up going into turn number 1. 6 laps to go, and Rampage on the inside gets the edge on Davidson as they head through turns 1 and 2. And now he's got the lead. Jack Porkins on the inside as well, drafted by Johnny Gardner, last week's winner. He's got a chance to go back-to-back. Now Porkins going to fight into second place. 3-wide situation between NASCAR Fan 19 and the 6 car. Rampage looking for his first victory of the season. Porkins looking for his first victory of his career. Those two are going to be duking it out in these final 5 laps. The 04's got to love where he is right now. He's got the possibility to make the move on the 1 car. He's just got to time it perfectly. And he's got to hope that no one comes to his inside, which is very much a possibility on this type of racetrack. He holds the draft. Rampage's teammate, NASCAR Fan 19, in third place. This is going to be a great team day for Ramco Motorsports. And remember, they won this race in the Amateur Cup Series with Clint McComb. Now NASCAR Fan 19 has the inside line on Porkins. The 1 in the 64, 1 and 2 at Van Zandt, 4 laps to go. Jet Kraus trying to follow suit, trying to stay on the draft with the 64. They both shuffle in the line on the outside, trying to get the momentum. 64 is not going to be able to close the door on Kraus. So now the 64 drops back to third. 3 laps to go. Rampage still playing defensively and maintaining the lead. NASCAR Fan 19 starting to pull back up to the 34's bumper. Going to see if he can make the move to the inside. Make it 1 and 2 again. There he goes. He makes the move to the inside. He's going to get second place. He's not going to get the lead, though. Rampage continues to hold it. Now Nick Smith trying to look to the inside of Kraus for third place. John Gilbert, the pole sitter. This is his first race in the Elite Cup Series. Can he contend? 2 laps to go at Van Zandt. Ramco Motorsports continues to run 1 and 2. And the amount of winning drivers is down to 10. And they've got a lap and a half to settle it out. Gilbert to the inside of Smith. Heading into turn 3. He's got Rambo, the hometown boy, trying to see if he can find his way to victory lane. Coming down the front stretch, the white flag waves. Gilbert makes a move to the inside for second place on NASCAR Fan 19. And he's going to get the edge. He breaks up the tandem. Rampage continues to play defensive. Gilbert trying to see if he can win from the pole. Rampage trying to win from last place. Only been done once in league history. Gilbert's got to make the move here to get any chance, and he can't do it. Gilbert's going to have to do something different or hope for a disaster on the 1 car, but it doesn't look imminent. Clint McComb won the Amateur Cup Series race, and now Rampage coming to the checkered flag, gonna win and sweep the weekend for Ramco Motorsports. From worst to first for the one car, Rampage in his third career victory, gonna be the winner here at Van Zandt. He's got a playoff spot to try to defend his title. And he gets his first victory of the season, just a race before he did it last season in race number 11 at Ontario. Turns out we had a photo finish for third place. Check this out. NASCAR Fan 19 barely edging out Nick Smith. That is 1,000th of a second for third place. The 64 just beating out the 18. Talk about a great day for Ramco. First and third on the results page. You gotta give it up for John Gilbert though. How about a second place run in your NFRN Elite Cup Series debut on the pole? Almost had the shot to win it there, just didn't make the move at the right time. A great top 5 for Nick Smith as well as Jack Porkins. Rambo gets a top 10 in his home state, the only driver that gets to claim that today. Aiden Shepard was that next Texas driver down in 12th place. He was trying to run with that second draft. Brad Stover had a solid day as he contends within the points battle for a playoff spot. Gets a 14th place run. Looking further down the results page, drivers like Jake Baskinger, Julio Caesar, Cody Hagan, drivers that had problems during the race, faltering back here as they weren't able to find speed. And a tough break for the points leader, John Arndt, having to drop out of the race in his home state, finishes 37th after the tiny amount of contact, or at least it looked tiny from some perspectives, but definitely damaged his race car enough that he could not continue. You see the final two results, Jonathan Rains makes a huge mistake with his teammate, taking them both out of the race. Dale Jr. Fan 88-83 didn't make it out past the first caution. As it relates to standings, Brad Stover, the new leader on top of the board despite not having a victory. The top driver with one, now Rampage just 3 points behind. John Arndt's DNF puts him back to third place. Now you've got drivers like Eric Monaco, Jack Porkins, NASCAR Fan 19, who are still 30 points behind a guy like John Arndt for the next point spot. But some bad days all in consecutive order, and good days by those guys down there could lead them into a spot if they're able to capitalize. A little bit further back, gotta be a little bit concerned about Amethyst Ashley as she starts to drift down toward the 25th place cutoff. You do not want to be below that line at the end of race 16 because that will disqualify you from the playoffs. She's starting to drift down there a little bit, but still 17th in points. Something to keep an eye on throughout these final 6 races. Expanding a little bit on that, you look at the cutoff spot where Jonathan Rains is right now, and Ashley's only 18 points ahead of that. One bad race can put you down there, and that is not where you want to be as a winner. You gotta have more consistent performances to make the playoffs. Getting down here in the depths of the standings, Jeff Krause actually had a very solid day today. He'll gain a little bit of his points back after the huge disappointments that he's had leading up to this race. The other JR crashed out, so did Tyler Markell. And you can actually see Tyler Markell 55 points behind Gerard Ron, the next full-timer up. But you're excluding one driver from this list, Stephen Willie, back here in 41st. He's yet another 20 or so points behind Tyler Markell. And he is just having the worst kind of season that you can have. Let's take a look at how the playoff picture looks right now. We still have Brad Stover and John Arndt in the green. They have the current points paying playoff spots. Rampage moves himself in the gold. He maintains the victory. That was a huge break for Stover and Arndt because Rampage was probably the next driver behind those guys. He really caught them a break and maintains a huge gap over guys like Monaco, Porkins, and NASCAR Fan 19. Currently the cutoff spot on raw points, Jake Baskinger, 1 point ahead of Aiden Shepard. Obviously that line going to shift around as the regular season plays out. On team standings, Ramco Motorsports dominated the day as they finished 1-3 in this race. AMI Incorporated able to find themselves in the second place Dave Burrows had a solid day, Ashley not so much though, and RPG7 Motorsports faltered with Graden and the other JR, falling back, not finishing on the lead lap. And in the Rookie of the Year standings, Stuart Graden has Brad Stover just 1 point behind him. Rambo finds himself in the 3rd place after 3 straight top 10s in a row. And I'm sure Jack Porkins is happy with his performance as he gets the top 5 and ran as one of the best performing rookies in this race, jumps all the way to 17th. Able to get away from some of these guys in the very back. David Davidson finally able to get some extra points, but he is still going to be dead last in this standing order. Well, a very exciting finish here in the Elite Cup Series race at Van Zandt Superspeedway. Several accidents, a lot more than we saw in the Amateur Cup Series race, but exciting nonetheless. We are heading to Bump Draft and Superspeedway next week in Florida, and we are going to see who's going to be the next one to lock in their playoff spot. We've got the Amateur Cup Series race there as well, and the Truck Series heads to Oswego. We hope to see you for our next race weekend. For NFRN and RVN, my name is Colin Denton, and we hope to see you next time.